Hey everybody, welcome to another passive income video where we talk about Redbubble, but specifically today, guys, I want to make the video a little bit different. I saw a video here that Gary Vee made that got literally almost 12 million views. And this has a huge relation back to Redbubble. And if everybody watches this, it might give a little more contextualization to how to succeed on Redbubble. And I want to just play the video here, and I'm going to explain what's going on. For some reason, I can't get the audio going, but that's perfectly fine. I'll just leave the, I'll mute it first of all, and I'll leave the link in the description if you want to watch this original video. It's called The Price of the Nike Swoosh Explained in 38 Seconds. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this video full screen, and let me just kind of narrate as it plays. So he's saying, do you understand that the little swoosh, which is the Nike check, like what it is? He's saying the whole shoe is a commodity. It could be made in China right now. There's nothing special about the shoe. It could be made in USA, China, Argentina, etc. Okay? He said, but the swoosh is what makes it a $1 trillion brand. Now, in the same notion, guys, let's just keep playing. He's saying people are confused. Everyone is wearing clothes that everyone is wearing clothes that's a commodity. But you're wearing a certain brand for a reason. It's only brand. That's what he's saying. So what he's really saying is now a competitive factor where people say, "Oh no, I'm going to work harder than you to build my brand." And he's saying, "Get out of here. You've been doing it for so long, get out of here." So what he's basically saying is all that stuff doesn't matter. How long you've been doing it, how hard you've been working, get out of here. He's basically kind of saying that's not a big deal. He's saying it's a commodity. And then the message that he's going to say right here is the most important part, guys. He says, all in the marketing. Your ability to make people know who you are. That's it. If you look at the very end, the two videos are blocking out what it says, but he's basically saying, here it is. Let's just see here. He's saying everything is a commodity. Like if you're selling microphones, if you're selling t-shirts, if you're selling whatever it is, they're all commodities. They're all can be found anywhere. You could buy a t-shirt at Walmart for $5. It all has to do with your ability to make people know who you are as a brand. That's all it is. See, Nike has a swoosh on it just like everybody else. Or has a logo just like everybody else. It just so happens that Nike has a check mark on it. Do you think people bought Nike for the check mark? No. They bought the Nike sneaker because people's ability to describe what that Nike sneaker was through Jordan, through LeBron James, through all these other basketball players and athletes, and all the sponsors and things like that. So my point is, when I relate this to Redbubble, let's go ahead and pull up Redbubble here. When I relate this to Redbubble, I saw a video where somebody mentioned, I can't remember who it was, shout out to them. They said the competitive advantage is your design. The competitive advantage is not your design. You have to understand that everybody's going to have a design. Therefore, it cannot be a competitive advantage. But what you can do is, like I said, like Gary Vee said, it is your ability to make people know who you are. For me, I'm going to use the bots for that as an example to have my ability to let people know. It's my competitive advantage, right? It's something that I'm doing outside of the box, outside of the sphere of influence that is Redbubble, that I could do to gain people in. That is a competitive advantage that most of my competitors don't know about, right? Same thing when I hop on Pinterest. When I hop on Pinterest and I learn it and I become an expert at it, that's something that will eventually be a competitive advantage. Now I'm adding 2 rings to my game, or 2 levels to my game now, right? Because it's a competitive advantage. When I do the blog and I set up the SEO and the blogging, that's another competitive advantage. Some may argue that when I create 60 designs per day, that's a competitive advantage because most people won't do that. Now, that's kind of iffy. That's an iffy situation because that can go left and right. It just depends on how you perceive it. But the competitive advantage is something that most people will not be able to do or have, either because lack of knowledge or lack of awareness, etc. Right? whatever the reason is kind of irrelevant. But the point is that, remember what he said here. He said it's all a commodity. It's all a commodity. It doesn't matter what's on it, a check, an X, what logo is on it. It really doesn't matter. It's all about the ability to let people know who you are. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you valuable. And so for print on demand, the only thing that makes you special, right, or makes you quote unquote different is not the design. The design, like I said, guys, it has to have a basic level of at least good enough. It can't be a bad design. If it's a bad design, nobody's going to buy it. But if it's good enough, if it's average or better, people are going to buy it, right? But by that definition, it is not a competitive. It's not what makes you different, the design, guys. The design, everybody has a design. So it's not what gives you a leg up on everybody else. I mean, you can work as hard as you can all day and you can have the very best design. But if nobody sees your design, are you going to get sales? No. Therefore, it is not a competitive advantage. What the competitive advantage in this case is, what are you bringing outside of the table, of the Redbubble table, to the platform? And in this case, what I'm doing is I'm using the automation tools. And this is just one guy's example. followandfollowbots.com. I was going to say .org, but this is .org. I was getting my stuff mixed up here. But you guys get my point, is what I'm trying to say. 67 British pound sterling. This is a company I've been promoting from the day I knew about them. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not just mentioning just these bots, but anyone. It doesn't really matter. That's kind of my competitive advantage. Once I get on Pinterest, and I really do it, really, really well, that's going to be my competitive advantage as well. And a new competitive advantage is combining the two. The results of experiencing both of these put together. It's going to be a big thing, right? So for all those who are watching, you want to figure out what your competitive advantage is. It might be using one of these tools. It might be creating your own system. It might be using YouTube. I know some people are getting into YouTube to promote their to promote the Redbubble stores. That's an idea too. I'll get around to that eventually. So there's all different ways to promote your Redbubble store, and to do the promotion outside. Now, what I'm saying is you don't have to have a competitive advantage, but it does help. And the way that you know if it works or not in the beginning is not by the sales, it's by the traffic. Like, for example, on Instagram, are you getting likes? Are you getting follows? Then you know it's working, right? If you're not getting sales, then you just have to optimize your account a little bit. You have to figure out, okay, what's a way that I can make these people buy? I clearly know that they're interested. What's a way that I can make these people buy? For Pinterest, it's kind of similar. If you're getting traffic through Pinterest, if you're getting impressions, if you're getting clicks, if you're getting views, if you're getting even followers on a slight regard, then you know it's working. But you just have to figure out, okay, what's going to make people cross over to that other side and end up purchasing? You have to ask those questions. You have to break down the math. You have to figure out the conversion rates. You have to do all those kind of things, right? And so a lot of people get discouraged right away when they find a tool and they see that it builds them traffic and followers and things like that, but they don't put things into perspective. They don't realize how hard it is to actually get a sale. This is why, guys, I spent over 4 years learning the Instagram platform, learning what it takes to make money on Instagram, who to target, things like that. And I learned, actually, one of the best things I learned was how to pivot, moving from, and I would explain that that's a skill on its own, but moving from niche to niche to niche, pivoting correctly, trying to figure out how to grow optimally, right? There's different ways to do that. So all I'm trying to say here is that you guys got to figure out your competitive advantage. Obviously, if you're a beginner, like I said, if you had just started, like this is your first day or your second day on Redbubble, you've never joined the platform before, maybe that's a little bit advanced for some, right? But for other people who've been on the platform for months, maybe have 100 sales, 100 designs, 200 designs, 300 designs, and you've been on the platform for a while, and you're trying to figure out, why do I only have 5 sales or 3 sales? You might want to ask yourself, maybe I might need a competitive advantage that might put me on the top of the rest. And you got to figure out what that competitive advantage is for you, right? So there's a lot of information there, a lot of different things that you can do to try to figure that out. If you guys need some free information on the Instagram bots on my website autopilotpassiveincome.com. There's a course that's free here. It's called, you go to other Instagram Redbubble mini course. I show you guys how to install and how to use the Instagram bots. Now, something that I will say is the mini course is not completed. You guys know I'm going to actually update it today. So I'm going to update it today. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the comment bot, on how many comments that you should be doing per day optimally to keep the account from getting blocked. How many you should be doing follows to keep the account from getting blocked, and how many likes you should do per day to keep the account from getting blocked. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about today in the videos when I add those videos to the course. Okay, guys. So if you're in the course, if you're watching the course consistently, just keep a heads up for that. But this is a free course, and basically what the free course is just trying to give you guys some basic background information on how to use Instagram plus Redbubble, putting them together. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.